Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to our final locally coordinated transportation plan public meeting. I am going to update my video. So there we are. So thank you for being here. I'm Leslie Baus. I am the Wayne County Mobility Coordinator. And as part of my job here as mobility coordinator, we are entrusted with doing a coordinated transportation plan. And that plan will allow us to determine by talking to you, by doing surveys, by going out in the community and talking to agencies, we will be able to determine what are the needs that you have for transportation, what do we currently have, and also what are the gaps. And that's the important thing, because when we identify those gaps, then we can come up with solutions for dealing with those. So we've been doing this plan for about the last 6 years, and we have to update it periodically, and this is one of the years we're doing our big update, which is why I'm here with you to go over the plan, what we've set as our goals in the past, what the strategies are, but also to go over what people have identified as the transportation needs. And that's where I need your participation. So when we get to that point, we'll go over those needs, and then I will ask you to give your input on the YouTube chat box there. Ashley Hirschberger from the City of Worcester is assisting me with this, so she will be relaying those, any input you have, questions, comments, concerns, because I want to make sure that we hear from you and that we accurately represent what you come up with. So we're going to go to our presentation here, and we will be starting it. Okay, so as I said, this is for the updating the Wayne County's locally coordinated transportation plan. So just a little bit about what this is. So what is this program, and why do we have to have this plan? So the locally coordinated transportation plan is required by the Federal Transit Administration for anyone seeking specialized transportation program, Section 5310 funding. And this funding provides services to elderly and people with disabilities. So we can purchase vehicles, we can do equipment for providing rides, and it also pays for the mobility manager position. So who can apply for this? Private nonprofit organizations like Community Action, and public entities in the area. So if they don't have a nonprofit that can apply for that, the local or city, county government can apply for it, or someone who is designated as a lead in the Ohio Coordination Program. So there are some federal requirements. So the plan, if you are receiving 5310 money or 5316 or 5317, those must be derived from a locally developed coordinated transportation plan. So we have to determine and certify that the plan was developed through a process that includes representatives from public, private, and nonprofit transportation, human services providers, and participation by you, the public. So what are the required elements of the plan? So there are 4 elements outlined in the federal circular. So 1, there has to be an assessment of available services that identifies current transportation providers. So that's where we look at what's already out there. Then there's an assessment of current transportation needs for persons with disabilities, older adults, and people with low incomes. Next, you have to have strategies, activities, and/or projects to address these identified gaps between the current services and the needs, as well as opportunities to improve efficiencies in daily service. And then finally, there needs to be priorities for implementation based on these resources. So we have a variety of stakeholders. Wayne County and most counties have a transportation coalition. So you're required to have people from various areas, in our community. So area transportation planning agencies, public transportation providers, private transportation providers, nonprofit transportation providers, past or current organizations that are funded under the Job Access Reverse Commute program or from the Section 5310 program, passengers and advocates, human service partners, and others, which is anyone interested in transportation for these target populations. So now that brings us to the identified transportation needs that we've been getting input on over the past few years. So I'm going to read through these, and then I'm going to ask you to participate, which pick 10 of these that you think are either major issues or minor issues. So you, in that chat box, you can just write in if you think there needs to be more wheelchair accessible vehicles. You write that in the chat box and say whether you think it's a major need or a minor need. You can give as much information, opinion on it as you think. And also, if you want to talk to me, you can have information for you at the end of this where you can contact me. So going through these, one of the identified needs is there's not enough public transportation service available. Next, we need more wheelchair accessible vehicles. Next, there should be more focus on employment-related trips. Then there needs to be more coordination among different service providers within my county. Next, there needs to be more coordination with service providers in neighboring counties. Next, there should be door-to-door service for the elderly and disabled. There needs to be service available on nights and weekends. There are areas of Wayne County that are currently underserved and should be addressed. Provide transportation that is affordable to people not on Medicaid or Medicare. Make transportation low cost or no cost to low income residents. There needs to be more education on available services, programs, and eligibility requirements. So more needs, service providers need to better communicate information to the public through website or advertising. Transportation services should be available 24 hours a day. Using transit is too complicated and requires too much advanced planning. Provide more assistance with car repair payments. So Community Action and Job and Family Services both have funds for car repair. But some people felt that what they offered was not enough and there needed to be more. Next, service providers need to be more consumer friendly. Wayne County needs more bicycle lanes. Allow unaccompanied minors to ride. And that is came out of people at working with the juvenile court or diversion programs for youth that said, teenagers may need to get to court-ordered or court-appointed meetings, but their parents can't take them for whatever reason. So they need to be able to have some kind of service that can get them there. Next is increase the gas voucher. And that is, some people are giving out, some agencies and churches are giving out gas vouchers, and some people felt that we need to have even more of those. Then the next is increase the gas voucher reimbursement amount. So maybe you're fine with there being enough gas voucher programs, but they really need to up that. Next is improve street lighting in Worcester, especially in the South Walnut Street area. And the reason that is so specific is that the people who attended and filled out surveys who live in that area were very vocal about the need for that issue. Next is there needs to be more sidewalks in my community. Next, there is a language barrier for the users of services in my county. Next, sharing driver or pooling resources. And this is sort of the idea of, you may see churches that have church vans and think, well, if those are just sitting unused for the rest of the week, why couldn't somebody work with them to pick up people? And maybe there could be a driver and it could be funded through somewhere. Or looking at agencies that might already have vehicles going, maybe they should should share that vehicle with other agencies. How could that happen? Another need was car insurance assistance. Next is improve the condition of sidewalks in Worcester, especially in the South Walnut Street area. Next is upkeep on sidewalks and better conditions. Next is add dialysis transportation. And then next is have transportation to go food shopping. So as I stated, please take a look at these. I'll go back to the first slide and I'll leave this up for a few moments so you can look at it. If you can make any comments in the chat box there, that would be great. And I will see if we have any comments coming in yet. And that's the next set here. So as I mentioned, while you're taking time to look at this, we have the Transportation Coalition, which is an ad hoc committee of the Wayne County Housing Coalition. So Transportation Coalition, we have people from Job and Family Services, Goodwill, Salvation Army, Anazao, 180, the Board of Developmental Disabilities, Community Action, Aspire, College, Wayne College. We have transportation providers such as Worcester Transit and Gilcrest that participate. We have the Adaptive Sports Program on that committee. So we meet at least quarterly to discuss what the transportation issues are in our community, and to also go back and look at the plan and see, are we on track? Because you'll see in a little bit that we also set a time frame for when we're going to meet these goals and enact and implement these strategies. So we would just want to make sure we're keeping on track with that. And then also to look at the landscape and go, okay, this is a need or an issue that has come up that we didn't have in the plan, and maybe we should put that in there next time, or how can we start working on it and then maybe address it later. And this plan is really crucial because we go back to it every year when we apply for funds. We use this plan to say, okay, this is what we need money for, because this is what we're going to do. An example of that is in 2019, people said we need a shopping shuttle. And that came out of areas from Shreve and in Rittman. So we were able to apply for funds to do that, to provide a shuttle starting in January of 2021 that will be coming out of the Shreve area, the Rittman area, and out of Seacrest Village. And this will be one of those learning experiences. We're going to do it. It'll be a once a month thing. We're going to see how it works, and then we will go from there as far as how to improve it, how to expand it, just to determine what we need to do with that. We are in the process of working on creating that. So in November, we should have some announcements about how that's going to work, where the pickups are going to be, how the pickups are going to operate, and what the fee structure would look like for something like that. We definitely want to keep it very affordable, especially for our seniors and for our people who have disabilities. So as far as I can see, we've had some time here to go over these. I haven't had any input from anybody. So we'll move on. If you're watching this later and you get to this point, please, you can send me an email. You can make a comment in the comment section under the video where you're watching it. Just give me your input because I really want to hear what you have to say. I'm trying to get the views of the entire community, but sometimes I can't get to everybody. So next are the goals. So these are the goals that we set up, the Transportation Coalition set up based on what came out of the needs. So the planning horizon for this is 5 years, and that started in 2018. So we've moved up our time frame to reflect the next 5 years out. So planning has not yet begun, but we'll start within 12 months. Then we have near term, which is 2020 to 2021. Then midterm, which is 2022 to 2023, and then long term, which is 2024 to 2025. And then we also have continuous, which are actions that should occur throughout the planning horizon. So our first goal was to coordinate and pool resources whenever possible and eliminate duplication of services. So we came up with a number of strategies. So a strategy 1.1 is facilitate and maintain a transportation coalition to serve as a forum for local transit issues, education, networking, and support. The Transportation Coalition will be a committee of Wayne County Housing Coalition, which we've done that. So that would fall under that continuous. Next is strategy 1.2, which is create an information and referral system for use by human services, agency clients, and the general public. Next is utilize tools to better educate and inform the general public of the availability of public transportation services. So that means, using brochures, putting things on YouTube, on Facebook, social media, print media, on the radio, on the TV, anything that helps get the information out to you, the public. Next is improve operational efficiencies for transportation providers and agencies through fundamental coordination practices. So this would be, maybe we can get the transportation providers to coordinate in purchasing or coordinate in training opportunities. Next is pursue coordination between agencies and communities to eliminate or reduce duplication of transportation services. So that would be if we have a couple of different agencies that are sending clients to the same place, perhaps they can share the cost of the vehicle so that each agency isn't sending their clients separately, but they're all sort of in one vehicle and they may be going to, to community action for something, or they may be going for treatment, or they may be going for court appointments. Next is develop a transportation brokerage system for Wayne County with participation by all human services transportation providers. So this is a case of, is there some place that everybody who has transportation needs could call, and then that would be arranged and brokered out to different transportation providers. So goal number 2 is increase the volume of affordable transportation to support employment trips. So strategy 2.1 is explore and develop van pool and ride sharing programs to support employment trips. And we are doing that currently community action with the Rural Mobility Solution work transportation program, where you can live anywhere in the county and sign up for the program and get transportation to a number of employers in Worcester, which include ADS, Artiflex, Buckeye Container, Gojo, Stalls, DNS Distribution, Speed North America, Scheffler, Tech4. So we're looking at how we can help people from other parts of our county get into these jobs. Strategy 2.2, which is community action or an agency designated by the Transportation Coalition and other area partners, further evaluate the employment transportation needs for individuals with disabilities and senior citizens, and make service design decisions regarding transportation programs to be implemented with the receipt of 5310 funds. So this is a case where the 5310 money could be used to purchase vehicles to get these people to work. So again, that's something we are looking at. Then goal 3 is increase options for accessing transportation services for older adults, individuals with disabilities, people with lower incomes, and the general public. So strategy 3.1 is community action or an agency designated by the Transportation Coalition will apply for 5311 funds, which are funds for rural public transportation, or 5310 funds and other funding to provide transportation services to older adults, individuals with disabilities, people with lower incomes, and the general public. So because we had this in the plan, we were able to work with the Stark Area Regional Transit Authority, and they applied for 5311 funds to expand countywide service here in Wayne County, which will be starting in 2021. Again, we are in the process of creating that and determining how that's going to work and sending out requests for proposals from transportation providers, and we'll have more on that a little bit later, probably in November. So then strategy 3.2, an agency or transportation provider designated by the Transportation Coalition in consultation with the Wayne County Council on Aging will prepare and submit an application for Title IIIB support services to the Area Agency on Aging 10B Inc., which is the region that we're in, enabling Wayne County to receive Title IIIB funds that can be used for the operation of transportation services for older adults that will be provided in a coordinated manner. So currently, Gilchrist Transportation and Senior Center receive these funds, and Community Action has applied for and received some 5310 funds that we can now combine with those Title IIIB funds so that more seniors can receive this transportation that is provided through Gilchrist. So next is develop and submit a proposal for 5310 funds to provide transportation services for persons with disabilities to attend the sports programs provided by the Adaptive Sports Program of Ohio to improve their quality of life. So in the past, the Adaptive Sports Program has applied for 5310 funds and received them, which has allowed them to purchase a vehicle to expand that service and help the people who want to participate in these sporting programs actually get to the programs, and also to get out and go work out and become healthy for these programs. Next is 3.4, community action or an agency designated by the Transportation Coalition initiates connector services to stops for regional transportation providers such as Greyhound, Barron's Bus, Stark Area Regional Transit Authority, Medina County Public Transit, and Go Bus in order to enable citizens to travel outside of the region. So currently, Go Bus is a bus that runs between Columbus and Worcester, and now between Worcester and Cleveland. They have a couple of stops in Worcester, and they have a stop in Shreve and one in Mount Eaton. And then there's also Barron's Bus, which is like Greyhound, and they have a couple of stops in Worcester, I believe a stop in Mount Eaton and a stop in West Salem. So these provide people an opportunity to get out of the county, but now it's how do we get people to these bus stops in the first place? So in Worcester, we've been able to use the Worcester Transit to connect people to the bus stop locations for Barron's Bus and Go Bus. And in the future, with this, we will look at getting funding to see how we can get people connected from other locations to these bus stops. Next, we have determined ways and means to provide transportation to low-income, unaccompanied minors to attend court-ordered or human services appointments and programs. So earlier on, I said that was a need, and so this was one of the strategies we came up with. Next is provide accessibility enhancements that remove barriers to individuals with disabilities so they may access greater portions of public transportation systems. So this is going back to that need about improving sidewalks and certainly lighting and sidewalks in the South Walnut Street area. So Beth Beatty, who is the chair of the Citizen Transportation Coalition, and actually advisory committee, she was able to go out and do walking audits in areas in Worcester and in Shreve, and she will be also doing some walking audits in Orville. And she uses a tool from the AARP doing walking audits, and that allows her to assess everything to see what are the barriers for people who may be vision impaired, who have ambulatory issues, who may be using a stroller, and what kind of barriers do they have if they're trying to get through the sidewalk, to get to public transportation or just to get out and walk around their community. So goal 4 is expand services and service hours in existing service areas and throughout Wayne County. So transportation will be available on nights and weekends. Increase in fixed route scheduled services, such as additional routes and decreased service in intervals and hours. Another strategy is transportation providers should make every effort to expand scheduled services and service hours in existent service areas and into the most rural areas to support employment opportunities, including weekend and second and third shifts. So that strategy right there was one that Community Action addressed with its Rural Mobility Solutions program. And we do first, second, and third shifts. We've been able to do those Monday through Friday. And we've been able to bring people from West Salem and Rittman and Shreve and Orville to employment here in Worcester. But that is one that we will continue expanding that because there's a greater need, even just to be able to provide that assistance on weekends, because we know people do have to work on Saturdays and Sundays. So goal 5 is increase transportation assistance programs for seniors, people with disabilities, low-income individuals to include, but not be limited to, gas voucher programs, cab voucher programs, vehicle repair assistance, car insurance payment assistance, and car loan programs. So again, this was based on a number of those needs that were cited by people earlier on. So the strategy for this was secure funding for new and existing transportation assistance programs operated by Wayne County nonprofits, human service agencies, churches, and local governments. So it's a matter of looking out there and seeing if there's any other funds that can be secured to, one, help the existing agencies that are doing this, but also to see if maybe another agency could also get funding for this. So, I can say that Trinity United Church of Christ has car loan program. We have a number of places that have gas voucher programs. Community Action has the Worcester Transportation Program, and a number of agencies have been purchasing cab passes and giving them to clients. Community Action and Job and Family Services have car repair assistance, and Job and Family Services has car insurance payment assistance. So again, we're looking at how we can address those needs that were stated earlier. So the final goal was make Wayne County more bike friendly. So one was improve bike accessibility on roadways, which is being done every year through the Rails on Trails, through the City of Worcester, through Orville, City of Orville, Rittman, in Creston. There has been more accessibility thanks to some of these different places that are doing bike trails. But that is a continual need as more of these are being expanded. Also Fredericksburg, another one has a bike trail that goes through. So then, in Downton as well. So then strategy 6.2, improve bicycle amenities and parking accommodations. So it's nice to have these trails, but it's also nice to have in communities bike racks where people can park their bikes. Getting bike racks on the buses that are currently running through Worcester. Having bike repair stations in various places that are easily accessible. So those are the things that we as a group, are looking at as how to improve that alternative to vehicular transportation. So we've done the public meeting, and I wanted to let you know that we do have surveys out in the community right now. There are paper copies of surveys here at Community Action at 905 Pittsburgh Avenue in Worcester. We also have surveys available through the Rittman Outreach Center in Rittman. Currently, that's not open to the public, but through our food distribution program there, you can get surveys. There are also hard copies of surveys at all of the Wayne County libraries and at the Orrville Public Library. And then you can also visit our Community Action website. So that's www.cawm.org. If you scroll down the very first page of our website, you can see there's a news listing, or you can click under the news tab, and it will have a little article about the surveys, and then there'll be a link that you can click that takes you right to the survey. And you could also go to surveymonkey.com/r/citizen2020, and our surveys are available there. So as I've mentioned before, my name is Leslie Baus. I am the Wayne County Mobility Coordinator. I would love to hear from you. My email is lbaus@cawm.org. You can call me at 330-264-8677, which is the office, or you can call me at 330-601-3021, which is my cell phone. Because I really want to hear from you. We are working on the transportation plan. It will be finished on November 16th. Then it will go before our Transportation Coalition group, and then goes to the County Planning Commission and the city, or the county commissioners, for them to give a letter of support for that. And then we give that to the people at the Ohio Department of Transportation, and they review it, and then it goes to the Federal Transportation Administration. So it goes through a lot of steps, and then it's listed on the website. We always have a copy posted on our website. We have our current plan on there. So if you would go under the Transportation tab and then go under Mobility Management, it's listed under there. So we would love to hear from you on this. And I really appreciate your time today. So please let me know what you need for transportation. So I hope you have a lovely day. I'm going to stop sharing that. And I will bid you adieu and have a great day. And please, keep checking out our YouTube, and keep checking out the Community Action Facebook page. So thank you, and have a great day.